The vehicle warehouses are one of the most underutilized businesses in the game, but when you know what you're doing, this business can make you millions. Just like the crate warehouses, you're going to need a CEO office. You can purchase one of them from Dynasty 8 Executive, and they range from the price of $1 million up to $4 million. But the location doesn't actually matter, because you'll rarely ever be using the office. So just go for the cheapest one. As for the office itself, the rest of the customizations are totally cosmetic and useless, so do not bother buying them. When you head inside of the office, go over to your computer and you're going to see 3 options, but the one you want to click on is vehicle cargo, and this is where you're going to be able to manage your vehicle warehouse. There are a total of 9 vehicle warehouse locations to choose from, starting from $1.5 million and going up to $2.8 million, and they are all located towards the bottom area of the map. However, unlike the special cargo warehouses, the location of your warehouse doesn't actually matter, so you can go for the cheapest one, which is the La Mesa warehouse. And luckily for us, this is a really decent location, especially for it being the cheapest one. When you go to purchase the warehouse, you're going to see a range of different style options. These cost a lot of money and don't earn you any, so stick with the basic layout for now. So how does this business work? Essentially, your goal is to source vehicles and then sell them for a higher profit. But how do you actually source the vehicles? There are 2 main ways to begin vehicle sourcing missions. The first and less efficient way is through your CEO office computer. Just head to the vehicle cargo section, click on your warehouse, and then source the vehicle. The next way is through the terabyte. Now, understandably, a lot of you watching this video probably don't own a terabyte, but for those who already do, the terabyte is going to be a lot more convenient and save you a lot of time. Just park your terabyte close to your vehicle warehouse, head to the control screen and launch the vehicle cargo mission. No matter what way you start these missions, the premise for them are all pretty straightforward. You head to the vehicle location, steal it, and then deliver it back to your warehouse. Each source mission can have different variants, but they are all pretty straightforward and require you to steal a vehicle and delivering it to your warehouse with as little damage as possible, because no matter how much damage you receive, that repair is going to come out of your pocket. So if you find your vehicle cargo to be too damaged, it's best to destroy the vehicle and start the mission over again so that you don't lose a lot of profit. On the topic of losing profit, if you ever receive the Cargo Bob source mission, join a new session and start over again. This mission is a huge waste of time, and if you decide to deliver the vehicle with the Cargo Bob as intended, the enemy choppers are going to cause far too much damage to your vehicle, making the mission extremely pointless. Every other source mission, however, should only take 4 to 5 minutes to complete when using more advanced vehicles like the Oppressor Mark II or the Sparrow. Every time you complete a source mission, you'll have to wait 3 minutes before starting up another. So, how much money does this business make you? This business is a lot different to the rest. Let me explain. When sourcing vehicles for your warehouse, there are 3 possible vehicle options that you are going to get. It will either be standard range, mid-range, or top range. So, what's the difference? Standard range will earn you only $30,000 profit, mid-range vehicles will earn you $50,000 profit, and top range vehicles will get you $80,000 profit. So, using this logic, you'd think it's easy money to just constantly source and sell top range vehicles. And while that's not exactly wrong, the vehicle warehouse is a little bit trickier than that. You need to put in a lot of effort, and I mean a lot, before you can start making the big bucks. When you start up a source mission, the game is going to mix between all 3 types of vehicles and pick one of them at random. However, we can change this. You see, each vehicle type has a maximum amount that you can source before the game begins giving you duplicates of the same vehicle. For standard range and mid-range, there is only a total of 10 different vehicles, and for top range, there are 12. Okay, right, so what am I supposed to do with that information? The game will only begin giving you duplicate vehicles after all 32 vehicle types have been sourced. and stored in your warehouse. So here's what you want to do. You need to source all 10 standard range vehicles and all 10 mid-range vehicles. But it's important that you never sell any of them, because as long as you have 20 standard and mid-range vehicles, the game will only ever give you top range vehicles when sourcing, which also means you're going to be making a lot of money. So here's the simple method. Once you source 10 standard and 10 mid-range vehicles, you will obviously only ever get top range. So just source a top range vehicle and sell a top range vehicle, and repeat that over and over without ever selling your standard or mid-range vehicles. And I know what you're all thinking, this seems like a massive grind, and that's because it is. This process can take a long time to complete, but trust me, when it's done, the rewards are definitely worth it. When it comes to actually selling the vehicles, obviously only ever export the top range, because we just went over it, but don't make the mistake of not choosing the specialist dealer. This is the only reason your profits are going to be higher. Always choose the specialist dealer for the most money. Before the export mission begins, you will have to complete some simple modifications to the vehicle. None of these modifications would change the value of the vehicle, so just pick whatever you want and begin the sell mission. In my opinion, this is where the vehicle warehouse falls below one of the best solo businesses, because the sell missions aren't very kind to solo grinders. Because if you wanted to sell the vehicle in a solo lobby, you can. However, the game is going to send NPCs after you, and trust me, the NPCs do a lot of damage to the vehicle, because just like the source missions, if you damage the vehicle, you lose a lot of profit in the final sale. The only way to avoid these NPCs is by selling in a public lobby. If you do this, you do of course run into the risk of getting griefed. But trust me, the chances of getting griefed in a small public session is worth the risk against actually losing profit because of dumb NPCs. One more thing to mention is that you can sell collections of vehicles for more money. These collections can consist of 2 to 4 vehicles ranging from every vehicle type. In order to sell these, you will need to have 3 or more people in your organization, as each vehicle requires 1 person. However, I highly recommend staying away from these collections. Like I mentioned, they can consist of any type of vehicle, top range, mid-range or standard range. So if you were to sell one of these collections, you risk losing some standard or mid-range vehicles, which means the top range method will no longer work. So keep this in mind before looking into the collections. But with that being said, those are the vehicle warehouses explained. If this video was helpful, be sure to give it a like, as well as subscribe for more guides like this. And while you're at it, check out another guide that is on screen now for another business. And with that being said, I'll see you all in the next one.